Hi, I'm Greg with a $5 guide here. I'm going to show you how to graduate college in 6 months or less. So this is the process that I went through to accomplish this goal. I don't expect it to work for everybody. You might have to tweak things for your own benefit, but hopefully this series that I'll be breaking up into different videos will help you graduate college in 6 months or less. I'm going to show you the way that I was able to do it, and hopefully if you have questions or concerns, they're answered throughout the series. And if not, feel free to comment below, and I'll see if I can answer any questions that you may have. So we'll kind of go through here, and I'll talk about my own experience. Um, a couple years ago, I was looking to go back to school. I was working in a job that I did not like. And ironically, I was watching YouTube one night and I saw a video about a guy who was able to graduate college in a very short amount of time. And I watched the video and I remember I was at work the next day being like, you know what? Let me let me pursue this and, see if there's a way for me to go back to school. Because at the time, career-wise, I felt that I was very limited from not having one. I don't think it necessarily getting one made me, highly more intelligent or 100% better in all ways. However, I did learn a lot from the process of doing it, and I do believe overall it was a real positive thing for me in my life. So we'll jump right in and kind of discuss the school and the beginning stages of how to get started with this. So what I recommend doing is going on Google and searching WGU, and WGU stands for Western Governors University. It's a online school based in Salt Lake City, fully accredited, stands up against all the other schools around. Um, First thing I want you to do is go to the online degrees, and here you can see some of the degrees that are offered through the school. So we have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees. Um, for example, I took business administration, business management. We also have finance, accounting, marketing, all that jazz. For me, business was more kind of something that I felt would work for me, but you might be more into IT, you might be more into, health, nursing, education. There's a lot of degree programs that cover a lot of different fields. Um, so we'll go ahead and click on business management, business administration. This is the degree that I ended up getting. We'll go down here, and the first thing I want you to notice is the cost. So it's $3,700, and that's for a 6 month term. So normally traditional schools, there's semesters, there's 4 semesters in a year, and you pay per semester, and you take, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 classes per semester, and you do that for 4 years and you graduate. Here it's different. You pay for a 6 month term, and it's possible to get your entire degree done in that 6 month term. And there's no added cost on top of this $3,700. You don't have to pay for books. You don't have to pay for any other, added costs on top of that. It's all built in. So the resources that you might want are all available to you on the online platform. And so another thing I want to show you is the start date. So they start classes every month. So today it's June 25th. The next available start time is August 1st. So you could say to yourself, hey, I saw this video and I want to go back to school on August 1st. It's entirely possible that you're able to do that. But we'll go through the process here and you'll figure out what's best for you. And down here we'll see the requirements for the coursework. So we have general classes. I'll touch on that later. And then we have the business classes here, and so you can kind of go through each degree program and see what classes are going to work best for you. So, for example, this kind of appealed to me. I looked at these classes and said, okay, this looks interesting to me, and this looks like something I would be able to accomplish. Um, but you might look at the IT degrees, which offer a lot of certifications, and say to yourself, okay, I'm more of an IT person, and based on what I'm seeing here, I'm going to pursue that. And same thing with marketing or the other degrees that are offered. So I'd go through here, kind of take a look at what the requirements are. If this is going to be 40 classes equals 120 credits, which is what you're going to need to get a bachelor's degree. And so you'll find some more information about here. They'll kind of touch on, um, you know, what uh, what the degree program is kind of like, and here they talk about everything's online. You can do it on your schedule. It's competency based, so essentially you don't need to go to classes once a week. You essentially can say, um, you know, I feel comfortable taking the final. I'm going to go ahead and try to pass the final. And as long as you're competent in the knowledge that the course offers, you could pass. And that could be 2 days into a class, that could be 2 weeks into a class. It's really up to you. Um, so, kind of browse through this information. And the first thing I want to show you guys is another website that I used to get a lot of the general classes done for this, and that is sophia.org. And so how I ended up getting involved with sophia.org is I applied for WGU. I talked to somebody in admissions, and they had me transfer in some of the classes I took when I was younger at a community college. And after I transferred those in, maybe it was like 12 credits or something like that, they told me that they wanted me to take some classes outside of the school to show that I was serious, and to admit me into the school. So talking to the person in administrate in admissions, they told me that there were a couple websites available. The best one that they recommended was sophia.org. And so if we go here to sophia.org, we can see the classes that are offered. So a lot of these classes, English comp, the business classes, principles of finance, principles of management, you're going to need all of these classes as part of your degree program. So this is a great resource to get a lot of those general classes done. And what happens is you'll be able to take 2 classes at a time. If you pass a class, you can move on to the next class, and vice versa. So I think in like a month period, I was able to get a third of my degree done just by using this website, and then I was able to transfer it into WGU. Now I recommend contacting WGU and getting a list of the classes that will transfer over. But if we go here, I'll be able to show you the cost of this website. So here we can see that I already had a membership. We could see the classes that I took. You could see view results here. So we'll go Principles of Finance. And this is a good way to kind of show you what you're going to see once you sign up for this website here. So we see here passing score for this class is 70. I got a 75, pass the class, and essentially how it works, and it's similar in a lot of ways to WGU, but obviously it's going to be a little bit different once you get into WGU. But is you'll sit here and you'll have all these information assignments. So essentially you have to go through all these different information sections, and at the end of the information section they have some multiple choice answers that you have to complete. Obviously the more you pass or the better you do, the better score you're going to get. And so the best way I could compare it is honestly like taking like a class at work, like some sort of HR class at work where you kind of have to go through the information and then answer some stuff at the end. Obviously, it's a little more difficult than that, but it's pretty similar. And then you go through all of these, then you have looks like a practice final, and then you have a final at the end, which is basically a test, multiple choice test. Some of the other classes like um, you know, English comp and things like that, you're going to have to write essays and they're going to have to grade the essays. So that's going to be a little bit different than the multiple choice, but we'll talk about that later. So you basically have a final for each of these sections here that you go through. And then at the very end, you have the final milestone, which is the final test that you take. And that'll cover all of the subjects here, and then you're going to want to do as well as you possibly can on that, and then that final score mixed with the final scores of each section will give you a score. And so essentially you can depending on how fast you move through this, like some of these classes I was able to get done in like a day or two. So if you're, very motivated, you could get a lot of these classes done rather quickly. We'll talk about the cost. So we'll click here. I'm not going to restart my membership. However, I do want to show you the cost. So we see here a month is $99. I think at the time when I did this, it was maybe like $60 or $80, something like that. But this was a couple years ago. So for $99, you can potentially get a third of your degree done, which is what I ended up doing. And if you're able to do that rather quickly, you could get like a good chunk of your degree done for only $100. So I really recommend taking a look at this website. As I said, I applied first, and then I was put onto this website by the person in admissions. However, if you may not be ready or may not be sure like which degree you want to pursue, this is a great website just to kind of start going through some of these general classes that you would need anyway for a degree. And then it gives you more time to kind of figure out what option might be best for you. And you could transfer these classes easily into WGU. So please use this website. It's going to save you a lot of money. It's going to save you a lot of time. And on top of that, it's a good way of kind of getting into the process of actually going back to school. So you're going to get used to taking classes all the time. You're going to get used to having to do papers. And so before you even step foot into WGU, you're going to have the discipline of taking classes and things like that. So this is a great way to get started. This is going to be the end of part 1. I'm going to make a part 2 series when possible, and we're going to continue from there, and I'll go through the process of what happened afterwards and my tips and tricks for how to get a degree in 6 months or less. So obviously if you have questions, feel free to comment below. Please follow the $5 guide. I'm not only going to be making videos about going back to school and finishing your degree, but I really want to do and show other things that may be able to help people with different areas of their life. So once again, stay tuned, and welcome to your journey on graduating college in 6 months.